don't try it. You can't feed me lies, won't buy it. Question everything, told them, nah, don't try it. Yeah, but you're moving like some sidekick. But you're moving like some waste man. Trying to impress me, won't like it. Be yourself, man, please don't try it. Really, why do they always? Nah, don't try it. You can't feed me lies, won't buy it. Question everything, told them, nah, don't try it. Yeah, but you're moving like some sidekick. But you're moving like some waste man. Trying to impress me, won't like it. Be yourself, man, please don't try it. Really, why do they always? Yeah, you know I'm back like black tracksuit with a black top cap. People love to try, people love to lie. People forget, stop, remember that. We done them good, you remember that. We needed someone, here's the facts. But people love to try, people love to lie. Yeah, this is London, mind the gap. Living life just multitasking. Smile like a horror movie, I'm laughing. Motivated and focused, crafting. Dash something and I break all your eggs in a basket. Can't handle it, why you asking? Can't handle it, why you asking? Can't handle it, why you asking? Please don't try it. Nah, don't try it. You can't feed me lies, won't buy it. Question everything, told them, nah, don't try it. Yeah, but you're moving like some sidekick. But you're moving like some waste man. Trying to impress me, won't like it. Be yourself, man, please don't try it. Really, why do they always? Nah, don't try it. You can't feed me lies, won't buy it. Question everything, told them, nah, don't try it. Yeah, but you're moving like some sidekick. But you're moving like some waste man. Trying to impress me, won't like it. Be yourself, man, please don't try it. Really, why do they always? Yeah, you know I'm right. Vibes are here when I am outside. Born for the flows to keep the flows tight. Told me why they love to lie. Soul is dark but the mind is bright. Nocturnal, we live for the night. You wanna try but yeah, not quite. Monster with the bars, yeah, I might bite. If I have to, I tighten up the mic. See me, I don't do it for the likes. Keep it Air Max, yeah, like my knives. Ooh, I like to plan before I strike. But what do they know? Frequency's high, it never gets low. But yeah, what do they know? You're dripping in drama from head to toe. Nah, don't try it. You can't feed me lies, won't buy it. Question everything, told them, nah, don't try it. Yeah, but you're moving like some sidekick. But you're moving like some waste man. Trying to impress me, won't like it. Be yourself, man, please don't try it. Really, why do they always? Nah, don't try it. You can't feed me lies, won't buy it. Question everything, told them, nah, don't try it. Yeah, but you're moving like some sidekick. But you're moving like some waste man. Trying to impress me, won't like it. Be yourself, man, please don't try it. Really, why do they always?
Hello everyone, happy Wednesday. I hope you are all enjoying the week, halfway through the week, but the second day of August. Can you believe we're in August? Countdown to Invictus begins. Please hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, and let me know that you can hear me, please. And we've got some very nice updates. Update number 1, I got my braids redone. I actually went to one of the best braiding salons that I've actually been to in a long time. She did such a good job. There was actually 2 of them. And the best braids I've gotten in a very, very long time. Very impressed. Oops. Let me just turn off this echo. Okay, let's see who's in the chat. Hi Brenda, hey Jason to be his. Hi Elaine. Hi Lorna. Let's see, Janice. Hey Rohini, nice to see you here. Hey Cindy, Karen M. Antoinette. Hey. Alright, let's get to it, shall we? Oh, Church Nelly, member for 12 months. Yay, and I'm finally seeing memberships come up on my screen now. That never used to happen on StreamYard before. Finally. Thank you so much, Church Nelly. 12 months. My goodness. It's just crazy to think that I've been doing this podcast now for Let's see, how many episodes? 620 episodes. That is wild. That's almost 2 years. Oh my goodness. Oh, I couldn't do it without all of you and the support. Appreciate every minute, every day that you tune in. You could be anywhere in the world, but you choose to be here. Very grateful. All right. And thank you so much, Church Nelly. Cool, did you get your hair braided yesterday? Nice. I really feel like this is my color now with some highlights, so I'm sticking with this for now. I feel like this is really my color. Gosh, what is it doing now? By the way, I'm actually moving tomorrow. So hopefully all this internet nonsense should be sorted out tomorrow. Just give me a sec to sort this out. Rahini, look at Anne embracing her inner Yonce. I mean, this was the Yonce look back in the day, right? With the blonde braids. I don't know why I ever stopped wearing my hair like this. I think I went crazy with the relaxers, doing all sorts of nonsense instead of just sticking to braids and like easy to style looks. So yeah, just a reminder, Harry and Nacho will be in Singapore for Centre Ballet. And also updates that Meghan will be in Dusseldorf for the closing ceremony. Prince Harry and his wife Meghan will come to Dusseldorf in September for the games. As has now become known, the Duchess will present part of the farewell show herself. The Butchens Wear and the city of Dusseldorf, as hosts of the sports event for war-shorn soldiers, await further prominent visitors. The opening ceremony begins the 9th of September. By the way, I'm still giving my ticket away for that. If anybody plans on going to Dusseldorf and you still don't have a ticket for the opening ceremony, just keep having a listen. We'll be giving that ticket away. But yeah, Meghan will be presenting. They're saying at the closing, but I wouldn't be surprised if we saw her at the opening also. It's great to know that she's going to that at least. Still no word on whether or not she'll go to Singapore, but that's quite a while to go, especially when you've got 2 young children. But I don't know, maybe it'll turn into a family adventure. Like the little ones are getting bigger now. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But at least we know we're seeing them at the Invictus Games. Also, Dan Wootton. So this has literally just come in the last hour. One of the brave journalists at Byline, who is reporting on Dan Wootton, he just posted this saying, legal threats are always initially stressful and then you look deeper and realize what's going on. Worth noting that Dan Wootton is no longer represented by Mission Derea, the law firm that is now acting for him is Griffin Law UK. Then somebody responded by saying, never heard of them. And then Peter responded by saying, look up Donald Blandley, the Rottweiler of the right. Is anybody surprised that Dan Wootton would get a lawyer who is known as the Rottweiler of the right? Obviously not. However, it is interesting that he is either been or moved on from his last firm. And I don't know whether you are ballsy or stupid for taking on this case. Obviously, the so-called Rottweiler believes that he has the ammo to be able to actually win this case for Dan Wootton. About that. But not somebody that I would want to present if I had the choice. And also, where is Dan getting the money to hire such a prominent and one would imagine expensive lawyer? Who is funding Dan's side here? Well, we know that there's a lot of people who want secrets kept. also on the subject of the whole Wootton saga. So Alex Truby, who was one of the first men to come forward and talk about his experience of Wootton, did a full article for bylines. So I'm gonna skip the first part because it just kind of goes over how Alex found out about Dan shenanigans, how he found the tape behind the washing machine. What it goes on to say afterwards is just as interesting. He says, well, he talks about relationship and the way that Dan kind of brought him into his web, acted like a friend, and then started to become a lot more obsessive in his behavior, and how after the revelation that Dan was in fact Martin Branning, and he was kept on by these large tabloids, it's like it emboldened his behavior. So he goes on to say, it wasn't always this way. When Alex first met Wootton, 3 years his junior, as a fresh-faced 23-year-old in London, they quickly became friends. Wootton was still a journalistic greenhorn, freshly arrived from New Zealand and working for the television industry broadcast. Television industry magazine broadcast. Mr. Truby was still embarking on his own career. Everything was possible for them, and they became close friends. But after a couple of years knowing, and as Truby's relationship with the man he describes as at that time the love of my life ran into trouble, he says Wootton began to pressurize him for more. I thought Dan was my best mate, he says, but he put me under immediate pressure to move things forward for him. I was asking for time and space, but I got ultimatums. I was put in a position, he said, we either get together or I'm gone from your life completely. So this is something that abusers do. They make you feel like, you can't be anyone without them. And Dan, being in the position that he was as a rising star in news, access to all these membership clubs, these are all tools that you can use to lure someone in. He says, I was vulnerable. I had just lost what I thought was the love of my life, and suddenly I was going to lose my best mate too. I didn't even have time to grieve the relationship. I just found myself tumbling into this relationship with Dan. Mr. Truby says the change in Wootton once he left broadcast in 2007 for Rupert Murdoch's most feared tabloids, the now defunct News of the World, was profound. When I first met him, the biggest stories he did were about who picked up TV rights for this or that show, he says. It was very different to the News of the World, but working for Murdoch, that environment, which was very ruthless, very cutthroat, very competitive for the biggest stories, changed him. It enabled the worst parts of him and amplified them. He was so driven by the pressure there that after a while, it was everything. He became one of their biggest ever performers, getting all of these splashes front pages. He would get very angry if he ever felt screwed over on a story. He would make moves against colleagues to stop them from sharing bylines with him. Share credit for a story, he wouldn't like it. He got mad about it. He was very, very, very focused on getting his name in front of the page of the News of the World week after week, as many times as he possibly could get it on there. And his bosses loved him for that and rewarded it. The toxicity of that paper, which everyone knows about, has now shut down, probably did push him into employing bad tactics. But I think by nature, you're either capable of that kind of ruthlessness or not. Something came together here. There was pressure, and because of his ambition, he was capable of it. Wootton's growing power at the then most read newspaper led to practices Mr. Truby now regards as potentially corrupt, and which gave Wootton the financial power to further his own interests. Dan had the News of the World pay money to my bank account as a source, an absolute minimum of 10 times, he says. He told me it was for his actual sources, and I knew his boss knew who I was, so I didn't question it too much. It was never life-changing sums, always hundreds, not thousands, but still big lumps. I didn't really understand his world. I just thought it's a normal thing for reporters to do sometimes in order to protect people's confidences. I would give the money to him, and I don't know what happened to it after that. He had other friends who do it for him also. So he goes on to talk about the way that Dan made him feel oh gosh, guys, I'm so sorry. I actually have an emergency text from someone. Give me 2 minutes. Okay, sorry about that, folks. I think one of my family members has gotten some kind of scam text message, and they're claiming to be a family member whose phone has been broken. And I'm like, no, my phone is not broken. That is probably a scammer. Oh gosh, mad world we're living in. Do look out for things like that, folks, especially in these times. A lot of scammers around. Just be very careful before, banks and all these companies are not just going to ask you for your personal details and stuff like that. So just be careful. And apologies for that. Anyway, that is one of the many ways in which Dan Wootton was emboldened, and I'm sure more about this will unravel. And also very interesting to see he has been dropped by his, or dropped or either separated from his law firm. Okay, okay, let me get your comments first, and then before we get to other royal news. Yeah, he's getting money from his followers, but I don't think he's reached the full amount of what he wanted to raise. I think he wanted to raise something like 150,000, and the last I checked, it was something at like 35,000 or something like that. Yeah, that's another thing, Karen. I mean, his lawyer could actually be very much doing this either for free or for a very reduced price, because in certain circles, especially people who have dirty things to hide, if he can win this case, they are all going to be throwing their millions at him. So it is true that sometimes his lawyers will do these high-profile cases for free, or at least for a no-win, no-fee basis. But I hope to see him walking into a courthouse and, after a very lengthy trial, into a jailhouse after that. Thank you so much, Brown Girl 48, for being a member for 12 months also. Thank you. FYI, you can also join membership on Buy Me a Coffee. So if you'd like to, you can join via YouTube, but it helps me a little bit more if you join via Buy Me a Coffee. So if anybody wanted to join membership, there is a link. Yeah, that Carmen, in America, that would be called money laundering. Insane. Okay, on to some other funny things. Somebody did a close-up of William's burger, his vegan burger. And also, this is a close-up of Kate's famous pancake. Listen, I'm all about saving the earth, but we've got to come up with better options than this. We've got to come up with better options than this. This is the best you can get in that burger. No, thank you. I mean, that is once I have seen some very fine-looking Michelin star level bean burgers and veggie burgers. This ain't it. This looks like dry mincemeat with green slime. The greenness of that doesn't even look natural. Looks like it's got all types of E numbers in that green. What on earth is that? Yes, that is William's burger and Kate's famous pancake. You can tell that neither of these two people cook. And based on what I've seen in the palace, I don't think the palace staff can cook too well either. I mean, I saw a video of the palace kitchen staff literally throwing salted chicken and throwing it in the oven straight from the packet. Absolutely gross. Not a single bit of spice in that palace. You got all the stolen jewels, but no spices apparently. Jewels from India, but no paprika. Absolutely terrible. Soylent Green. Oh my gosh. Oh, so gross. This is why Harry was like, "Oh my god, I could not handle the spiciness of Megan's food." Because you know for sure it was spiced proper. Harry eating good in his house now. Paprika, turmeric, properly spiced chicken, some plantain, definitely some plantain. I reckon Meghan probably does a great jollof rice as well. Oh, let's get this sad looking burger off the screen. Right, on to the top news of the day. Harry and Meghan made an appearance in a video. And first of all, before we talk about what they were talking about, oh my goodness. How gorgeous. How gorgeous does Meghan look? Absolutely glowing. Harry looks great too. But Meghan in this turtleneck, won't be too long before some of the Duchess probably shows up with a brown turtleneck as well. Absolutely gorgeous. And yeah, just great to see them happy, laughing, and getting on with business more than anything else. Just getting on with business. So, what was this all about? They released a video which I have reposted. And so you can go to the videos tab and you can watch that. It's a 2-minute videos. Youth leaders changing the future of technology. The Responsible Technology Youth Power Fund today announced an inaugural cohort of 26 inspiring young people and organizations selected for their groundbreaking approach to changing the future of technology. These innovators and campaigners have been awarded a total of $2 million to support their efforts to build a more inclusive, equitable, and accountable online world. Porngaphy of Meghan and many other famous women. Like, if you are a woman who has your image on the internet, somebody can probably make AI graphic material of you. And it's, I would say, one of the biggest dangers going forward with AI, just the 6 things that people can do. So it's great to see them honing in on that, because people have the tools to bully and harass people even more. So yes, responsible use of AI, improving education access, leveraging platforms to address social and environmental challenges, and promoting the safety and well-being of online communities. The Archwell Foundation is a proud founding member of this initiative and serves on the advisory committee alongside leading organizations including Omni, Dia Network, Hope Lab, Susan Exchange, Susan Reynolds, and more. Celebration of this work, co-founded the Duke members of the group to congratulate in the talking about work. Service is universal. All right. That is pretty much all I wanted to talk about today. We'll just leave it on a good note. I mean, there's other things that I could go into, but Meghan's glowing, Harry's glowing, they look happy, they're getting on with business. And yeah, we can just focus on the positives for today. Thank you as always, everyone. And thank you everyone for your support. Again, if you want to join as a member or just buy me a coffee, link in the chat, and yeah, we'll finish off with your comments. Yeah, stolen jewels, but no spice. Foolish babe. They took all the jewels, but they took no spice. Oh gosh, hilarious. Yeah, Megan's taking good care of Harry, and I'm sure Harry is taking good care of Harry as well, doing all of the self work. Yeah, I'm sure her outfit is sold out already. Kate probably bought 5 versions of everything. Look at the stack on her wrist as well. I see. Is she wearing her Cartier tank? That's quite a nice stack over there. All right, folks, I'm going to leave it there. Enjoy the rest of your day. I am moving tomorrow, so I have to finish up packing. Have fun over at Barron's. Ciao.
Nah, don't try it. You can't feed me lies, won't buy it. Question everything, tell them nah, don't try it. Yeah, but you're moving like some sidekick. But you're moving like some waste man. Trying to impress me, won't like it. Be yourself, man, please don't try it. Really, why do they always? Nah, don't try it. You can't feed me lies, won't buy it. Question everything, tell them nah, don't try it. Yeah, but you're moving like some sidekick. But you're moving like some waste man. Trying to impress me, won't like it. Be yourself, man, please don't try it. Really, why do they always? Yeah, you know I'm back like black tracksuit with a black top cap. People love to try, people love to lie. People forget, stop, remember that. We done them good, you remember that. We needed someone, here's the facts. But people love to try, people love to lie. Yeah, this is London, mind the gap. Living life just multitasking. Smile like a horror movie, I'm laughing. Motivated and focused, crafting. Dash something in a break, all your eggs in a basket. Can't handle it, why you asking? Can't handle it, why you asking? Can't handle it, why you asking? Please don't try it. Nah, don't try it. You can't feed me lies, won't buy it. Question everything, tell them nah, don't try it. Yeah, but you're moving like some sidekick. But you're moving like some waste man. Trying to impress me, won't like it. Be yourself, man, please don't try it. Really, why do they always? Nah, don't try it. You can't feed me lies, won't buy it. Question everything, tell them nah, don't try it. Yeah, but you're moving like some sidekick. But you're moving like some waste man. Trying to impress me, won't like it. Be yourself, man, please don't try it. Really, why do they always? Yeah, you know I'm right. Vibes are here when I am outside. Born for the flows to keep the flows tight. Tell me why they love to lie. Soul is dark but the mind is bright. Nocturnal, we live for the night. You wanna try but yeah, not quite. Monster with the bars, yeah, I might bite. If I have to, I tighten up the mic. See me, I don't do it for the likes. Keep it Air Max, yeah, like my knives. Ooh, I like to plan before I strike. But what do they know? Frequency's high, it never gets low. But yeah, what do they know? You're dripping in drama from head to toe. Nah, don't try it. You can't feed me lies, won't buy it. Question everything, tell them nah, don't try it. Yeah, but you're moving like some sidekick. But you're moving like some waste man. Trying to impress me, won't like it. Be yourself, man, please don't try it. Really, why do they always? Nah, don't try it. You can't feed me lies, won't buy it. Question everything, tell them nah, don't try it. Yeah, but you're moving like some sidekick. But you're moving like some waste man. Trying to impress me, won't like it. Be yourself, man, please don't try it. Really, why do